friends! Welcome to the All-Canadian Reptile Girl. Today I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, a hat, and this log is out, which means that today we will be joined by Jub-Jub, my black and white Argentine Tegu. Isn't she cool? Tegus are incredibly smart, and that means that with the proper work, training, and socialization, they make great pets. Today we are going to talk about my 5 T's of taming and socializing your Tegus. Now, before we start, there are a couple of things that I need to address. You may notice that Jub-Jub's tongue looks a little bit weird. She's being treated and we brought her to the vet and he advised that she will be completely alright, but her tongue does look a little bit weird. If you want to see the full story about what happened, you can see that here. But the short story is that she injured her tongue and the wound got infected, and now she's on the mend, which is great. But her tongue looks a little bit wonky. Some of this was filmed weeks ago before this even happened, so I just wanted to address that so that you would know why her tongue looks weird in some footage and then perfectly fine in others. This video was actually supposed to go out a few weeks ago, but with this whole ordeal, we decided that we had to wait until she was better before we could film it. This has also provided an example of why proper socialization for your Tegu is so important. The examination and the treatment for her injury would have been so much harder without the trust and the work that me and my family have done with socializing Jub-Jub and building up trust. And I really hope that what I share with you today will be helpful. The other bit of housekeeping that I have to cover is nowhere near as somber. In order to not confuse Jub-Jub or make her think that she's going to get fed, I will be replacing the word with Skittles throughout our talk today. She gets very excited when she hears Skittles, and using this code word will help keep her calmer. Trust me. I should also put a disclaimer up front that I am not an expert in socializing your Tegu at all. There is a lot of great information and resources out there, and I have done a ton of research, but what I am sharing today is what I have been using to socialize Jub-Jub over the last 6 to 7 months, based on the information that I have learned so far and my observations and interactions with her specifically. This works for me and Jub-Jub today. It may not work for you. Heck, it might not even work for me in 6 months. I expect that this will probably be a topic that I revisit in the future as Jub-Jub matures and I learn new stuff. So, to my future self watching this video before making the update, I say, hi, I'm sorry if I messed anything up too much, and how cringy is it to go back and watch old videos, right? Okay, kicking things off with our first T, talk. Talk to your Tegu as much as you can. And I'm not talking about specific commands, that's something else entirely, and I try to avoid using those words for our usual chit-chat so that I don't confuse her. I open up Jub-Jub's tank and talk to her several times a day. My parents do too. Sometimes it's just a quick hello. Sometimes I'll sit outside her enclosure and I'll read aloud. The goal is to get her used to my voice while she still feels safe and secure in her enclosure. This helps her learn that while speaking is not how she communicates with me, obviously, it is how I will be communicating with her. It goes both ways too, so pay close attention to your Tegu and you will find that they will talk back to you. They just do it through body language. An arched back, or chest breathing, or if they're wiggling the tip of their tail. This is all their way of telling you that they're stressed or that they don't like what you're doing. Head nodding and nose nudges are a good sign. Closed eyes in your presence can mean that they're relaxed with you. But it can also mean that they are overstimulated and are trying to block out some visual stimulus. Or it can mean that they are worried that you're going to poke them in the eye, so they're protecting it by closing their eye. So reading the rest of their body language will help you figure out what they're communicating to you. Be mindful of what they're trying to tell you is all I'm trying to get. Because I have such a connection with Jub-Jub, and I can read her body language so well even without seeing her, I can tell that she really wants you to hit that like button if you find this information useful. It would mean a lot to her if you showed her some love, so just, bloop, just bloop. My elbow crack fact, but ignore that, just bloop. And also, she's telling me that if you give this video enough likes, like a lot of them, she'll stop clawing my hands and face and arms all day, every day. So please, please like. Please like. Okay, so we know they're smart, but we really don't know just how smart tegus are. We tend to study animal intelligence on captive animals, but cognitive ability is dependent on context and a lot of other factors. So in these studies, we may not be capturing the full abilities that they actually have. We also tend to measure intelligence for other animals on how well they do human things or how well they do things for humans. But that's not really a fair way to judge intelligence either. Think about it. I like to think that I am brilliant, and I'm definitely smarter than, say, a spider. But if you give me a spool of sticky string and tell me to not only make a beautiful, intricate web out of it, with my butt, by the way, but also to make it in such a way that only I can navigate it safely and be able to tell you the size and type of animal that gets stuck in it just by feeling it struggle, it ain't happening. A spider would think that I am pretty dumb, is what I'm saying. And with only 2 legs, they'd probably be very jealous of how little I spend on shoes compared to them. So at least I win there. So, ha! Take that, spiders. The second T is touch. This often goes along with talking. As we open her enclosure to talk, we usually touch things around her enclosure and touch her too. A little rub on her face, a tug on her tail, or touching her feet, moving things in her enclosure. Really anything to get her used to our hands being in her space and getting her used to being touched. Many tegus get skittish when picked up from above. There is a third parietal eye right up here, and it detects changes in light, and a grasping hand from above can be scary, so be careful. It's important to find out what kind of touch your tegu likes. Many like gentle massages, some like more scritches, some even like funky little pats. Jub-Jub here likes being swaddled in a blanket and having her cheeks and her face rubbed. Jub-Jub also likes exploring outside of her enclosure, but first she needs to be picked up and handled before she gets to do that. She associates our touch and picking her up as a precursor to getting to do what she wants, which is exploring. Jub-Jub has learned that our touch means good things for her. Another aspect of touch is a tip that we learned from one of those great resources that I mentioned earlier, Professor Herp. Put a smelly article of clothing in her hide. Your tegu's hide is a safe and secure place, and with your smell surrounding them while they feel all cozy is going to help them associate you with safety. My mom, dad, and I all donated an unwashed article of clothing that smelled like us to Jub-Jub when we first got her. And this really seemed to help keep her calm during handling, especially when she was tiny in the early part of our relationship. The third T of Tegu socialization tips is target training. Recent issues with her mouth aside, Jubbers gets very excited at the prospect of Skittles, which is not unusual for tegus. Any tegu owner that you talk to will tell you that they have a very strong Skittle response, and having them know that we are the source of Skittles is an important factor in building a relationship. But there are a lot of sharp teeth in those powerful jaws, and the last thing we want is for her to associate us with Skittles every time that we are in her enclosure. You are clumsy today. I mean, I don't want to make you feel bad or anything, but you're not jumping out to me. If you do, I'm going to be very impressed and bewildered. Thank you. We really want to make sure that we had a way to signal to her when it was Skittles time versus just normal interactions. So, following some advice from Lori Torini, we implemented target training. I highly recommend that you check out her channel if you are looking to train any reptile, by the way. Now, if your tegu is anything like Jub-Jub, they should pick this up really quickly. I mean, I think it only took her like 2 exposures with the target, and she figured out how this works. Basically, we have her interact with the target first, along with the word Skittles, but not actually Skittles, you know, the other word that we'll refrain from saying. We don't want her to climb me today, because she gets tangled in my hair, and she really wants to jump to me, which is very sweet, and I kind of feel a bit bad about it, but we gotta get filming done. You can cuddle with me after. I love you. You good? Oh, you are sneaky. I see you. Don't fall. You're not gonna jump over there either. Anyways. Aggressively biting the target is a habit that we are working on breaking. Before I give her the morsel of Skittles, she has to gently interact with the target, tongue flick, or nudge it with her nose. That bit has not been easy. Do you need some help? I got you. You're okay. You're not coming over here. She's like, maybe if I fall, you'll catch me and I can jump onto you. Here, if you just want some pets. Alright. You do just want some pets. Hi, I'll give you no scritches. No baby. No. Honey, I'm sorry. Okay, no, look. That bit hasn't been easy. She gets really excited about Skittles, but we're getting there. Eventually. After a few bites that we provide, we let her have the rest of her Skittles to eat at her leisure without the target. As she eats, we make sure that we're giving her some back rubs and scritches like I am right now. She's super sweet and resting her head in my hand. Again, so that she is associating our touch with something that she really likes. Let's jump to the other end of the digestive journey and talk about T number 4, toilet training. Now, I don't usually have the bin on my lap. It's just for the angle and the camera I had to for this. We take Jub-Jub out every day, but before she gets to do any cuddling, exploring, or anything exciting really, she has to poop, or at least pee. Whenever she comes out, she immediately goes on a puppy pad. We let her walk around on it a bit and kind of redirect her to stay in the bin and on the puppy pad. At first, it took some time, but now it only takes her about 10 seconds to 2 minutes before she leaves her stinky little present for us and goes on her way. In fact, she's even started to sometimes scratch at the door to come out when she needs to poop. It appears that she'd rather poop in our living space than her own. Having smelt her butt slugs, I cannot say that I blame her. We've recently started putting the puppy pad in a makeshift litter box. Our hope is that we can leave this out and trust her to seek it out and use it when she needs to poop. We'll see how that goes. Now, when trying to quantify Tegu intelligence, you might hear people talking about Tegus as being as smart as a dog, which is really high praise. Dogs are pretty darn smart. But I don't know if that's really being fair to either dogs or Tegus. They both have very different ways of looking at the world and are smarter in different ways. Tegus may actually possess far better problem-solving abilities than dogs, but getting them to show us when and how we want is not easy, is it? See, she's trying to problem solve how to get onto me. I don't want this right now. Though she's a smart girl. She's a good girl. You deserve scritches. You can't come in. No? Stay there? Okay, good girl. Part of it is a question of motivation, and dogs have the distinct advantage there, having evolved alongside humans for a really long time, like dozens of years. Yeah. Dozens. You can look that up. This quasi-symbiotic relationship we have with dogs means that our dogs are very motivated to figure out how to gain our approval and make us happy. This is one of the reasons why they make such great companions and are easy to train. This allows us to judge them on how well they follow commands and, of course, the ever-popular, "aw, he thinks he's people" factor. But Jub-Jub here is all about Jub-Jub. As smart as she is, and as much as she seems to like my company, the affection that she shows me is only because I give her stuff that she likes. She doesn't care about my happiness one bit. You can see that when she claws me up, though it's an accident, so she doesn't really. Not only does this present challenges in attempts to measure their intelligence, it also means that we have to find productive ways to motivate your Tegu to get them to do what you want. The good news is that even though they are not really social creatures in the wild, they are pretty solitary, they are able to use those exceptional problem-solving skills to figure out how to be socially intelligent so that they can get along with us as their keepers. We just need to find the right motivation to help them be receptive to us. And that motivation can't just be Skittles, unless you want an obese Tegu and bloody fingers. And that takes a lot of my fifth and final T, time. They may learn things very quickly, but it takes time and patience to build a strong bond. Getting your Tegu to see you as a friend is working against millions of years of evolution that tells them that something our size is probably a predator. Look, it doesn't happen overnight. As Jub-Jub goes into Tegu puberty, or puberty as it's also known, and gets a little bit wild, we will probably slip back on some of our progress. And if she goes down for formation later this year, or any year, we are going to lose some progress there too. So it is really important that we lay a strong foundation now and keep reinforcing it. Time and consistency are so important. Remember, every single interaction with your Tegu shapes your relationship, and not every interaction is going to be positive. You are going to mess up. It's inevitable that something you do will upset or startle your Tegu, or that they're not in the mood when you need to interact with them, or you hold them in a way that's uncomfortable, or you will need to take them to the vet where they will be restrained, poked, and prodded in a different and unfamiliar environment. Wasn't that so much fun, Jubbers? Yeah, you're a good girl. You did so good. I'm proud of you. Negative interactions are going to happen, and they can leave a really big impression. The trust you build will allow you some leeway when these do happen. It is so important that the number of positive interactions with your Tegu vastly outnumbers the negative ones. With Jub-Jub's recent injuries, we are going to have to do a bit of work to refill the positive experience bucket, but I'm confident that I have a solid foundation to build back up on. What do you think of my 5 T's of Tegu taming and socialization? Do you think that they might be helpful for you and your scaly tank puppy? Are there any helpful tips or tricks that you've used with your Tegu that I didn't cover? Let me know all of those in the comments below. Jub-Jub and I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember to nurture all nature, even the spiders. Bye!
Why do you say Tegu like Tegu?
I do not.
Tegu.
I do not.
It's some kind of weird... Who learned you to smoke?
Nope. You're not coming to me. I'm sorry, we're almost done, love. Okay, then you and I can cuddle. Yeah, we can cuddle on the couch, we can watch a movie. I can play God of War, and you can just sit in the blankies. Where are you going? I'm just gonna fall slowly and hope something catches me. Oh my goodness, I love you. She looks like a hammock.
I don't know what she's doing.
I don't know, it cannot be comfortable, and this leg is holding on by a claw. Then for number T, whoa. And talk about T number 4. All right. Hit record?
They're recording.
Oh, okay, lovely.